Hello, it is really beautiful down here on the birch track this afternoon, so I thought I would just stop and say hello, check in with everybody, see how you are, and welcome you to Acorn Wood, and one of my favourite trees. I think we've been here before, I filmed just here before. But anyway, I thought I'd just say hello for now and just show you a few of the bits and pieces, the things that have been happening here in the last couple of weeks or so. Mainly, I guess, really getting my birch track candles posted and out to their new owners, and just getting some feedback from that. Really lovely photographs of people with their birch track candles in their own homes, which is so lovely to see. And I'm just kind of getting myself prepared for the next one, which will be Candlemas, although obviously we've got Christmas, Yule, solstice, midwinter in between. And also tomorrow is St. Lucy's Day, Santa Lucia, and I always like to do something for that, and I'm going to do something and show you that as well, but that will be separate, which is why I thought if I do this little video now, it'll catch us up to date with what's been happening here. As you'll see when I show you some of the landscape around here, you'll see how it's become really wintry in the last couple of weeks. Most of the leaves have gone now, it's mainly bare branches. In fact, I could see the lighthouse from the window upstairs, not actually my bedroom but the room next to my bedroom, because there's an evergreen in the way of my bedroom, but the other front room, I actually saw the red and white stripes of the lighthouse yesterday afternoon, and that is a sure sign that it's winter, because you can only see that when the westerly light is exactly right on it, so it shines, and also when the leaves are off the trees. So I know it's a little thing, but it excites me quite a lot whenever I notice the lighthouse, because it means I'm that close to the sea, which is something I've always wanted to be. I'm on my way out for a little walk anyway. I thought we might go down to the alder carr and just see, because it's rained such a lot, there'll be big areas of water under the trees, and so you get more of an idea of what it would have been like in prehistoric times, before the land was drained and channels were dug, and so streams were more controlled. All of the low land would have been rather like this alder carr, or a lot of it would. I don't want to say all of anything, but a lot of it would have been like this, rather than seeing distinct streams or the kind of channels we have now beside the fields. It just wouldn't have been like that. Everything would have drained down, and trees which like the water, like the alders, would just grow up through and look really magical. So it's not sunny because it's late in the afternoon, and it's not, well, it just is how it is, but I think we might get some nice effects, so I'll show you when we get down there. The light's going quite quickly now, but you can see how magical it looks over there among the alder trees. There's a wire across, as there was last time I came, but you can see there's a track going through. That is not going to deter me. It's very, very basic. It's not barbed wire or anything like that. So there we are, that's it. We're through. I don't think that's really much of a deterrent for humans. I'm probably not meant to be, really. So here we are. Now I can't walk among them very far because it is probably just too squidgy now, but you can get a really nice idea, and I will come again one day when it's, and maybe in the mornings you get the sunshine. When it is sunny, it may be facing a better direction, I think, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we'll have a look another time, but for now let's come and see how watery it actually is. You see the alder leaves are really crumpled down now, really going back into the land, And there's how wet it is in between the trees. And what the effect you get eventually, not quite there yet, but we will be, I'm sure, further into the winter, is the actual big trunks of the trees like this are almost like little islands in themselves, where the roots, the earth is built up around the roots. It makes islands. So this is a nice one. I don't think I can get any closer, because if you look down here you can see that it's actually, where I'm walking, it looks like leaves, but actually it's water. I'm not quite sure how deep it is. We've got waterproof, well, like little short boots on, but not long wellies or anything, so I shall probably keep a little bit distant from the actual water, because you can't really tell how deep it is. But look, it really is getting quite wet, and you get beautiful reflections, of course, when it is sunny. You'll get lovely more in terms of reflection of sky and clouds passing by, and the actual branches and twigs. So they're not all alders, these are birches, as you can see. Got very mossy bases to their trunks because it is so damp, but they don't mind the wet. They're very adaptable trees. The only thing they can't cope with is getting overshadowed by a larger tree like an oak, and then they will be a pioneer tree and give shelter to a baby oak as it grows from an acorn, and then in repayment for that, the oak actually shades out the birch and it dies. That is a sad fact. I once did some work, tried to do some artwork about that when I was at art school, which I wasn't all that pleased with in the end, but that was something that had really struck me, this thing about well, just the natural processes, really. Anyway, there we are. We will return, I'm sure, another time, but you're seeing how enchanting and enchanted this little woodland is in its simple way. Very mundane in lots of ways, really, but it's not mundane because it's magic. It's real fairy wood. There's a lovely little island tree with all the moss, fairy moss growing around its roots. That's a lovely sight. There's a beautiful, beautiful alder. Let's just go upwards and see. It really does give you an idea of what the wetlands would have been like. And I always find that in December, even though we haven't even reached the solstice yet, the honeysuckle always puts out some green leaves again for the new season, even before the end of this one, it seems. And that doesn't seem to be affected actually by whether we get cold weather later on. They still seem to have little leaves that go on. So they're a real sign of life in the darkness. It's not just evergreens that do that, it's the other plants that actually set their leaves very early. So anyway, it's time to go back now. You can see how the sky has got quite pink behind the trees there, the birches in the background. That's where the stream goes through, just where we're looking now. And the pinkness, I suppose, really is looking back towards the old shop. So I shall go back now and put the kettle on and catch up with you there. Today is December the 13th, St. Lucy's Day, and I thought I'd actually show you my advent calendar because it's halfway through. It's on the fridge. I'll show you the fridge. And I don't usually have anything on the fridge, so it's a bit strange to see something on there. I keep glancing across and thinking the fridge door is open because I can see something, but it's actually my advent calendar. Anyway, I've opened half the doors and it is so pretty. I thought you might like to see it. Anyway, and see some of the little creatures have been revealed, like these badgers and rabbit, and my favourite, I think, the woodpecker. And I think yesterday's was the squirrel, perhaps that was the day before, robin. and a gull, oyster catchers, fox and hedgehogs, and a thrush. I think there's a blackbird up here somewhere, yes. Anyway, I thought you might like to witness today's opening, grand opening, a bit of a highlight of every day. It's lucky number 13. So let's have a look inside, and it's a little seal. It's a seal's head. Oh, it's really cute. It is, I think this is a river in Cornwall, the picture actually depicts, but it's really appropriate here in Norfolk, particularly this part of Norfolk, because there's a big seal colony of grey seals not that far away from here that always come and breed on the beach here just at this time of year actually. Most of the pups are born in December, I think, and I've been on other years and actually watched from they guide people to walk not too close to the seals. It used to be that you could just go and walk among them, but there was too much awfulness of behaviour of some humans and dogs, and so it's quite well wardened now, the experience of going to see the seals, but it is absolutely incredible. And one year, I think a couple of years ago when I was there, it seemed to be a big day for seal birthing, and the beach was just full of seals giving birth, and you could see the afterbirths on the beach and all the little tiny babies just having literally popped out, or the great big daddy seals roll around on the beach as well. It's really an incredible thing to witness. I'm very lucky. It's only the particular beach people go to watch. I mean, there are obviously the seals are in lots of places along the coast, but the particular beach where they have the wardens and everything is about 20 minutes from here, perhaps. Not very far. St. Lucy, the wild unknown and the return of the sun. Eyes flash between the trees, bright reminders of the sun's return at midwinter. Eyes everywhere on the birch track, watching. The sparkle of a wild creature's eye in the dusk. Lussi means light, and her feast day once fell at the time of the midwinter solstice. No wonder she brings hope out of the darkness with her crown of blazing candles. But there is another side to Lussi, just as midwinter is a knife-edge time. Because of the connection of her name to light, Lussi was associated with Lucifer. The golden saffron rolls that are served on her feast day are an unmistakable symbol of the sun, and yet they're known as Lussi cats, said to be devil's cats which she subdued. In another account, she was the first wife of Adam and the mother of the Vitra people, nature spirits, said to inhabit the mountains, caves and rocks. On Lussi Nat, the eve of December the 13th, Lussi, a demon or witch, was said to ride through the air with her followers called Luciferder. It was a dangerous night when supernatural beings were abroad and animals could speak. Naughty children had to take special care since Lussi could come down the chimney and take them away, and preparation for Yule had to be finished or else Lussi would come to punish the household. Lussi, pale-faced and terrible, would press her eyes to the window. If things were not satisfactory, she would fly into a rage. Not brewed, not baked, no great fire do they have. Lussi light, shortest day and longest night. Sweet St. Lussi, let me know whose cloth I shall lay, whose bed I shall make, whose child I shall bear, whose darling I shall be, whose arms I shall sleep in.